If you're in your 20s and if you're doing anything on the F tier of this list, then you're already behind. In today's video, we're going to be going through the most common 26 financial decisions that you'll face in your 20s, and we're going to rank them from S tier being the best and F tier being the absolute worst. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first one we're going to start off with is crypto. Now, before you come and burn me at the stakes for this, I want to be clear about what I'm saying. So crypto in general, I'm not saying it's worthless. All I'm saying is before you start investing in crypto, you need to make sure you have your other stuff in line first. So you need to make sure that you're maxing out your Roth IRA. You need to make sure that you are getting your 401k match, maxing your 401k if possible, investing in a traditional brokerage, HSA, investing in HSA, doing all that kind of stuff first to put yourself in a good foundational spot before you start investing in crypto. Some people in their 20s have everything, they have it backwards. They have most of their money in crypto and they do not have much in those other really foundational accounts that you really should be prioritizing growing in your 20s. So that's all I'm saying on this one. Crypto, it's not worthless. I think it will be a valuable investment option in the decades to come, but I think that it's something that, since it's very speculative still, you need to make sure that you have your financial foundations in place first and creating those good foundational investing habits before you start playing around with stuff like crypto. So let's go into our next one. Next one, obviously, maxing a Roth IRA. That's going to be S tier. So for this one, no debate on this one really. After-tax money goes in, grows completely tax-free, and then you take it out with no taxes. I mean, what's better than that? So that one, Roth IRA, maxing that out is going to be definitely S tier. The next one, eating out every day. So this one, I decided to put this in D tier because I didn't exactly know whether to put it as D or F. But in this one, I'm not saying you have to meal prep literally every single meal you do and stuff like that. It's okay to eat out every once in a while. But also, if you're eating out every single day, then that's going to be a problem. That's going to be costing you $500 to $1,000 a month just on eating out food. There's better options you can do. You can make your own food, make meals in bulk, and that'll be significantly cheaper than literally just eating out every day. Okay, so for the next one, coming in second S tier, this one's going to be get your 401k match from your employer. On this one, it's 100% rate of return. If it's, let's say you put in 5% of your salary and it's $300 a month, then you're going to get another $300 a month from your employer match. On that, you literally just got 100% return. There's no reason why you shouldn't be doing this. This is definitely an S tier move. So getting into the next one, we have just general, I don't know why it says YOLO. We're just gonna have stock picks and or meme stocks or meme coins or things like that. So for this one, it's definitely not a good idea to just be going for it all and investing in Haktua coin or some BS like that. You definitely don't want to be doing anything like that in your 20s. If you did invest in Haktua coin, I don't know what to tell you. You literally got scammed and you shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. If you thought that was going somewhere, then we need to have a different conversation. So in the next one, so this one, hear me out for a second. Buying a used car versus new. So I'm going to put this at a D tier under one circumstance. So buying a used car versus a new car, that is actually a really good option. But I think when you're buying a used car, you need to be very selective in how you do it. You need to find a car that is reliable and well taken care of. The reason I put this as a D tier is strictly because I see people online who will buy used cars from something like CarMax, and it'll be let's say it's a 5-year-old car, a piece of junk car with 100,000 miles, And they sometimes just try to take advantage of people, and people do it. So they'll have a 5-year-old car with 100,000 miles, and they're going to have something crazy like an 18% interest rate. At that point, you're probably better off buying a new car instead of that used car. So when I say this, you just got to be careful. Make sure that you are buying a car. If you're buying a used car, make sure you do not buy it from a place like that. And if you do, make sure you get your financing in check. Do not finance with them. They will screw you over. And make sure that you aren't doing anything crazy like having an 18% interest rate on a used car that's 5 years old with 100,000 miles. At that point, it's probably in the end going to cost you as much as a new car anyways. So that's my deal with that one. The next one, A tier, is going to be automate your savings. This is the easiest way to have your money grow. So in this one, if you set up your money to where it just automatically moves without you having to do anything, that minimizes the risk of you essentially moving it around or, saying, oh, I'll invest this much this month, and you don't actually do it. This way, it just automatically does it. You don't have to worry about it. So I'm definitely putting that as an A tier. The next one, payday loans. This one's a hard F. Payday loans are literally predatory by design. Some carry literally insane interest rates. And once you're in that cycle, it's hard to get out. If you are doing payday loans, you are going to get screwed, and it's not going to make anything better. These ones if you're considering a payday loan, you need to exhaust every other option first before you do that, because you will get screwed. The next one, budget with the 50-30-20 rule. So this one, 50-30-20, that means 50% of your income goes to fixed costs like housing, food, bills, all of that stuff that's mandatory to pay. The 30% is 30% wants, and then 20% into savings and investments. On this one, I do like this. This is a good starting budget for sure. But one thing I would do is I would probably switch the 30 and the 20. So I would switch it to 20% wants and 30% savings and investing in general. I think that'll set someone up much better by just flipping those two numbers around. Okay, another S tier. Build a 6-month emergency fund. So that one is definitely going to be S tier. Before you invest, before you ramp up your investing, you really need to make sure you have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. If you don't, you could have something come up like a medical bill, your car breaks down, your dog gets sick or your cat gets sick, something crazy like that. And one big bill could screw you over. So you need to make sure that you have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund so that you just avoid being in that situation in general and don't have to rely on debt to cover you if you need it. Okay, next one, C tier, keeping unused subscriptions. That's a C tier. I guess I probably could have put this one lower, to be honest, but I think it's important at least every few months to go through your Apple subscriptions if you're on iPhone, because there are a lot of subscriptions that people sign up for that they forget. And, it'll say like, oh, $1 for 3 months and then $15 after that. That's how they get you. And on these, it's important to keep track of those because they're hoping that you forget, which a lot of people do, and they just keep billing you every month. So that one I'm going to put as a C tier. It's not going to absolutely destroy your finances, but it's definitely important to look every few months. The next one, A tier, pay off high interest debt. Obviously, paying off debt, that's an important thing. Getting rid of those credit cards that are 20, 30% interest rates, those are going to destroy you. So you definitely need to make sure to prioritize paying that off first, and any other high interest debt. I would say I consider high interest anything 10% or above in general. So definitely A tier habit, paying off your debt, getting that out the way, and yeah. So that's it for that one. Next one, F tier, 29% APR car loan. That one is definitely an A tier. And people do it too. You may think that people don't do this kind of stuff, but it is fairly common. of people having these crazy car loans. And this kind of relates to that freaking CarMax thing I was talking about earlier, of how some people will buy even like a used car that'll be severely overpriced, and it'll come with something crazy like 29% interest rate. So for these, this is definitely an F tier behavior. Don't do that. And next one, B tier, negotiate your salary. I think this is definitely B tier. It could even be higher too, depending on what you do, but negotiating your salary once you have a valuable skill, that's something that can definitely spike your salary, especially if you're moving to a different job or something like that. Having that skill of negotiation is crucial. When I left my previous job, I moved to a new one, and I was able to negotiate for around a 30% increase in my salary. Maybe I'll make a video on that one other day, but being able to have those skills in negotiation, it's uncomfortable, but it will pay for itself many times over by having that throughout your life. Next one, A tier, invest in marketable skills. So your biggest asset in your 20s, as you know, it's not necessarily your portfolio, it's the time that you have. Making sure that you're investing in your skills, such as negotiation, perfect example. Doing stuff like that is definitely a valuable asset to have, of getting a certification, a skill, a course, something that makes your income go up. That will be a definite valuable skill, and we're going to put that at A tier. And the next one, gambling as a money strategy. This is one thing that I think is very common too with, oh shoot, my camera almost fell over. And Gen Z is people gambling literally all the time. Now with things like the different prediction markets and stuff like that, it's literally everywhere. Gambling is a money strategy, F tier. If you disagree, I don't know what to tell you, but we're definitely putting that there. Okay, C tier, buying new instead of used. I would put that as C tier. In some scenarios, I think it makes sense to buy something new instead of used. If you're buying something where quality actually matters, sometimes it's better to buy something new instead of used because it'll probably last you longer. Like if you're buying something like and granted you can get lucky sometimes with things, but if you buy something like a fridge that's used or a washing machine that's used, odds are you're probably better off just buying that new, because it's going to be, if it goes out, you're going to have to buy it new anyways. Let's say you buy it used, it goes out in a year, now you're going to have to buy a new one anyways. So sometimes I think it can definitely make sense to buy something new instead of used. The next one, keeping housing under 30% of your income. So for this one, this is definitely an important thing to do, especially with how expensive rent and housing prices are nowadays. I think keeping your housing under 30 is something that is crucial. Oh, sorry. Sorry. But if rent is eating more than 30% of your take-home pay, or your housing, then it's just going to make everything harder. Every other financial goal you have is going to be harder if your housing takes up like 50% of your budget. So the next one, cashing out your 401k early. This one, F tier. No hesitation, no exceptions. If you're cashing it out, you're paying income tax on the full amount plus a 10% penalty. On top of that, you could lose up to 30% on it just by taking it out with taxes and penalties in general. There are some situations like a first-time home purchase and things like that, or if an actual emergency comes up, but overall, I think cashing out your 401k early, definite F tier behavior. Do not do that. Next one, building your credit score early. So this one, B tier behavior. This is something that's good. It will be able to help you out through your life with getting apartments, getting a mortgage, things like that. I think that this is something that your credit score can be it can save you thousands in interest on a mortgage, a car loan, or an apartment deposit or something like that. It takes years to build them, so obviously the earlier you start, the better, but obviously be careful. You don't want to just be going nuts and maxing this thing out all the time. Next one, S tier, live below your means. So on this one, S tier, you already know this one. Every personal finance person has this on there. Living below your means is the least exciting tip in personal finance, but it's also the most powerful. Lifestyle inflation is silent, and it'll absolutely kill your wealth if you keep, if you start to make more money each year. Let's say you get a new job or something like that, and you just constantly are, getting a new car, or buying a bunch of new crap you don't need, then that is going to ultimately, it's going to kill your wealth over time. So you definitely want to live below your means on that. Getting in the next one, ignoring your credit score. I'm gonna put this as a C tier. So in this one, that one is going to be a C tier because of the fact that you don't necessarily need a credit score. So for that one, it's definitely a useful tool to have. Some people like Dave Ramsey and stuff are, oh, you don't need a credit score. You could just not have a credit score at all and you'll be totally fine. Yes, that is partially true, but if you're a responsible credit card user, there's no reason why you shouldn't be using it to your advantage. It's just you gotta be thinking about if you're a person that, if you've had a credit card in the past and you blow it up to, if you max it out every time, maybe credit cards aren't for you. But if you're a person and you're responsible and you can use it, definitely use it to your advantage. That is a C tier behavior. Next one, F tier, no budget at all. That needs no explaining. Flying completely blind with your money is how you just absolutely destroy your financial future. Let's say you earn $60,000 a year and it's all just pissed away because you don't have a budget, then you don't need a color-coded spreadsheet. You just need to know what's coming in and what's coming out. Just having awareness alone changes everything. So, having a budget is definitely a useful tool. You don't need to have the craziest, Excel-driven formula around, but just make sure that you have a budget, whether it's on paper. You could use Excel or Google Sheets or something like that, but just make sure that you know what's coming in and what's coming out. And an important thing with a budget too is a lot of people will make a budget, but they're not going back every month to see how much they're actually spending. So that's an important part too, is actually looking back to see how much you're spending. All right, next one, sports betting on your savings, F tier. This one is what I was talking about too. You got these freaking, well, I'm Gen Z too, so I can't be talking, but you got these Gen Zers who are doing $20 parlays every single day. Occasionally, yes, they will hit at some point, but that's with gambling in general. It's going to hit eventually. It may be nice, but over the long term, definitely a losing behavior. It's entertainment, I get it, but the second you start treating your sports betting as an income stream or an investment strategy, you're heading down the wrong path. That's something where it can be very dangerous. I mean, look at how much money these huge sports books are making, like the big ones. I don't know if I can say them on here, but they're businesses. They're very good at their jobs, and the edge will always be theirs no matter what. Next one, start a side hustle, A tier. So this one, before you say it should be S tier, hear me out. If you're still early in your main career, going all in might be a higher return on your investment. Let's say you're in your career and you're going to like getting a certification and stuff like that. Those can be moves that can have a higher return than starting a side hustle, like doing DoorDash or something like that. But starting a side hustle in general, I think it's a valuable thing, especially if you're paying off debt. But also you got to keep in mind, in your main career, if you can make money by getting a certification, make extra money by getting a certification or continuing your education or working on other skills like your negotiation, sometimes those can have a better return on your investment than a side hustle. But nonetheless, side hustle, I'm putting that at A tier. Next one, last one, poly market, prediction markets, no go. On these ones, we're going to close out on this. Prediction markets, they feel different than like sports betting or something like that. They feel analytical, almost like you have pretty good odds of what's going to happen. But It may feel like it's not gambling, but it definitely is, in my opinion. Here's the thing: you're competing with any of this stuff. You're competing with people who do this professionally and for a job, the people that work for these companies, and they're going to always find an edge to be against the person placing the bet. And that's how they stay in business. And if these were, if it was like free money or something like that, then these wouldn't even be companies. Doing stuff like this, it's almost always going to cost you and burn you in the long run. It's not a saving strategy. Waste your time for the most part. It may be fun in the moment, but long term, you're going to get burned. So that's it for what we had today. So let me know what you think about this list. Is there anything you would change? Is there anything that you would modify? I'd love to hear it down below. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video.